The text arrived late at night, just as I was about to fall asleep. My phone buzzed on the bedside table, and I picked it up bleary-eyed. It was from my sister, Melissa. Mom's condition has worsened. You need to come home immediately. It could be her last days. I froze. My heart slammed against my chest. Mom had been ill for a while, but she'd always managed to keep her spirits up. Melissa's words felt urgent, desperate, almost frantic. I booked the earliest flight home without hesitation, tossing clothes into a bag and calling my boss to explain the emergency. The plane ride was a blur of anxiety and fear. I replayed memories of my mother, her warm smile, her gentle hands, her unwavering support throughout my life. I promised myself that if this was truly the end, I would be there for her, hold her hand, and make every moment count. When I landed, the city felt strangely quiet. My family's neighborhood, normally bustling, seemed subdued, almost as if it too was aware of the impending tragedy. I hailed a cab and rushed to the house, the taxi weaving through traffic as I imagined the worst-case scenarios. As I pulled up, something seemed off. The front door was slightly ajar. That small detail should have sent a warning, but my fear for Mom overrode everything. I pushed the door open and called out, "Mom? It's me." Silence. I stepped inside, heart racing. The living room looked untouched, almost pristine, but there was no sign of Melissa. I called out again, louder this time. "Melissa? Mom." From the hallway, I heard a faint giggle. Confused, I turned toward the sound. And then I saw it. My mother, sitting in the kitchen, alive and well, laughing over something on her phone. She looked up at me, completely fine. "Mom," I asked, voice trembling, "you're okay?" She smiled a little mischievously. "Of course I'm okay. What's wrong?" I stepped closer, disbelief written all over my face. "Melissa, she said you were dying. She texted me that your condition had worsened." I flew home thinking. Mom's laughter bubbled up, soft and light, shaking her head. "Oh, honey, I'm fine. I've never been better. What on earth did she tell you?" I sank into a chair, trying to process the shock. My mind raced. Had Melissa been lying? Or was this some cruel misunderstanding? I pulled out my phone, showing Mom the text. She read it, her eyes widening slightly before she started chuckling again. "Melissa? She did this." I nodded, still in disbelief. "I don't understand. Why would she say you were dying?" Mom's expression softened, but the twinkle in her eye remained. "Well, she's been stressed lately. She wanted to get everyone home quickly. I suppose maybe she exaggerated things a bit. But you came. You were worried. And that's what matters." Relief washed over me, but it was mixed with anger and confusion. I had flown across the country, spent a fortune on a last-minute ticket, and my heart had been racing with panic for hours, all because of Melissa's dramatic message. I could have been driving myself crazy for nothing, I said, half laughing, half exasperated. Mom reached out and took my hand. "You came for me. That's what counts. Even if the news was exaggerated, you didn't hesitate. That says more than any words could." I looked around the house, seeing Mom's usual warmth, the familiar clutter, the photos on the walls, all evidence that life went on just as it always had. The panic that had gripped me began to dissipate, replaced with a mixture of relief and lingering disbelief. Later, Melissa arrived, looking sheepish. I may have overreacted," she admitted. "I didn't mean to scare you. I just wanted everyone to come home quickly. I thought it would be urgent enough." I sighed, shaking my head. "Melissa, you had me terrified. I honestly thought it could be the end." She looked down, guilt evident. "I know. I messed up. I panicked. Mom seemed fine, but I thought if you didn't come immediately, you'd miss seeing her." Mom laughed softly, the sound easing the tension in the room. "Look at you two. I'm alive, kicking, and very annoyed at all the drama. But I guess I appreciate the effort. And Alex, thank you for coming so quickly." I smiled, finally allowing myself to relax. I had flown across the country in panic, prepared to face my mother's final moments, only to find her full of life and laughter. The shock was immense, but so was the relief. That night, as we sat around a dining table, sharing stories and laughter, I realized something important. Sometimes, even the most shocking messages aren't what they seem. Sometimes panic and fear can blind us to the truth, and sometimes the most profound moments come from realizing how much you care, even when the situation isn't what you expected. I had come home thinking I'd be facing tragedy. Instead, I found life, warmth, and the unmistakable reminder that love, family, always matters most. The shock wasn't just in finding Mom alive. It was in discovering how much I'd been willing to do for her, even in fear and uncertainty. And as Mom hugged me tightly that evening, laughing at my wide-eyed disbelief, I knew one thing. Sometimes, the greatest surprises are the ones that remind you just how strong family bonds can be, even if the initial shock nearly gave you a heart attack.